So we had a huge announcement on Sunday for our church family, and I'm gonna, for those who missed it, I'm gonna replay it for you, and then afterwards we're gonna come back to me. I'm gonna talk through some of the most frequently asked questions in regard to this, and so stick around for that too. Bless you.
But I have exciting news. Uh, the leadership team of our church has been prayerfully considering a decision for the last 12 weeks, and I'm going to tell you what we decided. We're just going to rip the Band-Aid off, and then we'll unpack it, explain it, tell you why it's awesome, and how we can handle it. So first, we have decided to move from 2 gatherings to 3 gatherings. Yeah. And so we're going to be doing Sunday, 8 a.m., 9:45 a.m., and 11:30. And that will be coming on February 15th. So we have some time to get ready for it and prepare. We've considered many other options in terms of what we would do with that and timing, like a Saturday night, another campus, the South Campus, Sunday afternoon, Thursday night. All of them failed to meet the possibility standard for one reason or another at this time. And I can get into those reasons at another time. But to stay focused, here's the why that we need 3 gatherings. So we've broken our single service, non-holiday attendance record 3 times in the last 8 weeks, most recently last Sunday. So we have consistently 120 plus cars parking in our parking lot and the neighborhood around here. We have 71 parking spaces. So we're 175% full on a regular basis for our parking. Another reason is you've probably experienced this. Maybe you come early enough that you don't, but getting through our lobby most of the time is like getting through a crowded dance floor. It's like you're trying to make your way. My wife loves it. The rest of you, I don't know. I mean, some of you love it. Next, I don't want a mega building. I've been in mega buildings and mega churches. I served in 3 other churches besides this one. One had an 1,100-seat auditorium, one had a 1,400-seat auditorium, one had a 2,500-seat auditorium. And I could have cast vision for that 7 years ago when we were starting into building process, but that wasn't our vision, and that wasn't our goal here. And there's a good reason for that. It's because one of our core values on our wall is healthy relationships. We want healthy relationships, and part of that, I believe, is that people want to know each other. Relationships. We want to be able to have the consistency of seeing similar people that we can get names, get backstories, get personal information, be able to pray for them, be able to take those conversations deeper so that maybe we can have those deeper relationships outside of church, because obviously this is just a touch point for the depth of relationships that really needs to happen, but that touch point is important. Okay, and so those slightly smaller groups of people makes a lot of those things possible. It makes your prayers for each other more impactful when you know the details of each other's lives, when you know each other's names. Beyond that, and going deeper than that, for me is, and being personal, is that I want to know the people that I pastor, and people want to know their pastor, right? And the staff of our church and the volunteer leaders of our church, it's more possible for us to get to know more people when we're divided into those smaller groups. So that is important. And the bottom line is this: people need Jesus, and we need to make room for people who need to come to Jesus here. We had a record number of water baptisms this summer. We've had more people coming to Christ in this season than I've ever seen in our church for the first time getting to know Jesus. And so we talked about this in the summer because we were hitting spring-like attendance numbers in the summer, and I had a couple staff people come to me not having talked to each other, and we're like, hey, I think we need 3 services. And I I was like, yep, I've been thinking about it for years. And so I've been a part of 2 other churches, one that had 3 gatherings, another that had 4 gatherings in the past. And I've talked with multiple other pastor friends who have recently moved to 3 gatherings. And we're committed to doing this right and in ways that are healthy for the families of our staff and of our ministry teams, our volunteers. We are committed fully to healthy families. And so we're going to research that. We're going to continue to brainstorm. We've been talking about that with the teams already in terms of the details of how that works out. And so the logistics are this. February 15th, like I said earlier, will be our kickoff into 3 gatherings. That's so that we can ramp up into Easter rather than kicking off on Easter and then having something else happen. But between now and then, we will talk about it so much that you and I might be sick of it. But it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. We're going to scrunch a little bit from a 90-minute gathering to an 80-minute gathering. We'll shave, a minute here and there from each of the different elements in the gathering. Yet we are 100% committed to making opportunities for the Holy Spirit to move. That will not change. That's our heart. That's part of our DNA as a church. Next, we need more of you to step up and serve, especially on our Sunday morning teams. All of our Sunday morning teams need to grow. Okay, so that's our worship team. That's our tech team. That's our connections, the people who greet you as you come in the door. That's our safety team. That's our cafe team. That's our kids ministry. Kids needs a lot. So we're going to be doing big serving pushes starting next week in the month of November for those areas. And then in January, we'll include all the areas of the church and do another serving push there as well. And so that's kind of where we're going towards. But between now and then, sometimes we're just going to have to squeeze into our rows a little bit and move towards the center sometimes. And I would also think along these lines, consider praying about attending the 8 a.m. gathering, which is where we might have some more seats. Consider also serving in our 11:30 a.m. gathering, which is where we'll need the most help. And so all those kinds of things are prayerful considerations that some of you will be able to make. Ultimately, there's going to be more options for you in terms of attending, in terms of serving. There's going to be a place for everyone. Most of all, we're making room for the Holy Spirit to do what only He can do, which is transform people's lives. And we are excited about it. Our leadership team is excited about it. So would you be prayerful that we are able to steward well what God is doing in this place, in this community. And as we build that, we want to do it only with the grace of God. So that's the announcement. Sam, come on back.
All right, so here's a few of the things that were frequently asked questions. I want to give a little bit more reason for you. Why February 15th as the start date for 3 gatherings? I mean, the need is present right now, but also we want to give time to prepare on a number of different levels. The most important really being getting our volunteer teams robust and large enough, people trained up and put into places large enough to be able to handle 3 gatherings without that putting so much strain on families. So we are very concerned and completely committed to keeping healthy families. And so that's one thing. Also, in terms of the plan for our staff and our team, for us to figure out what all extra that means for us to approve more administrative hours, to be able to take some weight off of certain team members that will hit more in a bigger way. So being able to do that, I think would be is also part of the equation. So we want to be able to do it right from volunteer standpoint, from a staff standpoint, and taking that extra time is going to enable us to do that. Otherwise, we'd just be jumping into it, which is not wise. So, we squeeze for a little bit so that we can do this correctly. And then February 15th, rather than like doing it on Easter, for instance, of next year is vitally important as well. Because if we wait until Easter, we'll actually have missed the giant push that happens leading up to Easter. There's a smaller push right after Easter in terms of attendance, but people just start showing up at church leading up to Easter. That's normal. That's every church everywhere, generally speaking. And so capitalizing on that momentum and providing space for those people is going to be helpful for us so that the momentum afterwards is also available. If we started on Easter, we would miss actually the biggest push of momentum, which is preceding Easter. So that's why February 15th is important. There's other reasons as well. But why it's going to work for our families and volunteers is because we've been in detailed discussion and we've been getting feedback from our volunteer teams, worship team, tech team, safety team. We've been getting feedback from our connection team, okay? And so kids team, all of them. So they're giving us insights. We're taking them to our staff meetings. We're thinking through details, trying to make this work even better, okay? So that is valuable. We're going to provide the best spaces possible for each of those groups to thrive. And then why we say attending 8 a.m., why we say serving 11:30 a.m. Well, we don't want to create a 9:45 mega gathering because that's not going to help us either. And some of that might happen anyway to a degree. We're prepared for that, but the more we can push people in terms of attendance to 8 a.m. where there will be the most seats, and serving to 11:30, because we've had a lot of people step up and say, hey, I'll serve in the 8 a.m. And they probably want to attend the 9:45 and that kind of thing. But we need to be even or more even throughout, and we're going to have attenders no matter what in the 11:30. We need to be ready for them. So that's why we're saying, attending 8, serving 11:30. But obviously, we need people everywhere. So that's not a problem. Also, I would say this about the 8 a.m. There are families whose kids are up at 6 a.m. This is why this is going to work. There are families whose kids are up at 6 a.m. In present day culture. They get to bed early, get up early. They might as well come to the 8 a.m. and we're going to have full kids ministry, and it's going to be awesome. So that will prove effective. Now, why didn't we choose Saturday night, Thursday night, any other night of the week? Our teams gave us feedback, staff, volunteer teams, and board as well, that would not be good for their families. And so that was the primary reason. There might be a time in the future where our teams are bolstered enough in terms of how many people are there serving that we could have separate teams for like a night gathering or that kind of thing. But that's not where we're at the moment, and we can't put more on those families and take away, because we're committed to healthy families. I keep saying this, but this is really a motivating factor in how we're doing everything with this decision. So the night services wasn't working for that reason. Why not Sunday afternoon? We tried that actually 3 or 4 years ago on Easter Sunday. This was 2021. We did a 1 p.m. gathering, 9, 11, and 1. The 1 p.m. had, I think, 3 people attend it besides the volunteers serving. So we realized that's ineffective for our church context and culture. And then why not go to the South Campus? Well, the South Campus requires a few things. One, it would require more weight on our kids' teams here, because there's no kids area down there. So they would have to be here. And we have gatherings that might not fit. It might not fill. And then it requires a whole other worship team and a whole other tech team. Again, staffing-wise, we don't have the ability to split that finally. So it's just not something that's feasible for us at this time. So maybe some of those options become feasible sometime in the future. But this is our next step. And so prayerfully consider all those things. Pray and support us. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. We're not a trust me bro culture. We love to have that feedback and interaction. And then be excited. It's gonna be great. That's 8 a.m., 9:45, 11:30 a.m. Sunday morning, starting February 15th. God bless you guys. We love you, and look forward to the next season.